Hi everyone! In this video I'm going to be showing you how to create and transform shapes in Photoshop. I'm not going to go through all the settings, I'm just going to go through some of the basic ones to get you started. We'll cover some more advanced things in the actual project video. So to get started creating any shape, we need to go over to our left hand toolbar here, and about 3/4 of the way down you should have a rectangle. And when we click on that, oh, there we go. I can then click anywhere in my painting and drag out a rectangle. Now you can see I've got this kind of pale khaki colour here. To change that colour, we go to our settings at the top. Remember from the last video, our tools on the left hand side, their settings appear at the top of our screen. So to change that colour, we go over to this little box here where it says fill. I can click on that and I can choose any recently used colours. I can choose some colours in these predetermined palettes here, or I can just go up to this multicoloured icon to open up the colour picker and change it like so. And I might go for a kind of a bright blue there. Click OK, and you can see the colour changes automatically. We've run through a couple of the other shape settings here. Stroke, which will often have a white box with a red diagonal line through it. This allows you to change the border colour. So the white box with the red line that you can see here means there's currently no border being applied. And I can go and click on any colour. Let's maybe go for something. Let's go to pure. Let's maybe go for a yellow. So we've got a yellow border there. We still don't see anything, and that's because the border is too thin. And that is determined by the next setting along, which often by default says 1px, which is 1 pixel. And if we click on the arrow next to it, we can drag that up, and now you can see the border. It's a lot more clear. We can actually change the style of the border with the next option along, which currently just has a solid line and another arrow next to it. If I click on that, I can then click on this dashed line and it's changed accordingly. We've got a few other settings here which will allow us to change the shape and round the corners, but we'll go over those later on. There's a very basic introduction to that shape. Now, of course, we can draw plenty of other shapes. If we go back to the shape tool on the left hand side and hold our mouse down, a little menu pops up with some other options. So I can go to ellipse, for example, and draw exactly the same thing. If I hold down shift whilst I'm drawing these, it will create a perfect circle, and for the rectangle, it will create a perfect square. Now we also have a selection box when we draw out our shapes that allow us to scale things, squash things down, stretch them out, so you can transform them straight away. Now, if for any reason you click off of those shapes and you want to transform them, it's really easy to do so. You just press Control T on your keyboard, but you will have a warning that says could not transform the path. And to fix that, you need to go over to your layers panel, and we're going to do the first thing in our layers panel, one of the most frequent things you'll have to do, which is right click and go up to rasterize layer. And you may notice that this layer now in the little thumbnail doesn't have this little grey icon in it. That means it's been rasterized. And when I do Control T now, my selection box comes back up and I'm able to stretch it out and transform it. Once I'm happy, I just click on the tick at the very top. Now you may notice that since I've stretched that out, the resolution has gone down, and that's because I rasterized it first. So, although Control T and rasterizing allows you to edit it, it's always advisable to edit your shape as you're drawing it out because it will retain its quality. So if I go back to the shape tool, we can go to the polygon tool. And that will allow us to create a whole number of shapes with different settings up here. So I can change in this settings panel, kind of create a star. I can change the number of sides. I can do a whole bunch of things. If I go to the line tool, it's exactly the same thing, but you're drawing lines instead of shapes. Real simple. So there we go. There's how to create shapes in Photoshop.